Okay, so obviously the entire football world, especially those in Brazil, are in mourning with the sad news of the passing of the great Pelé. We're just wondering if we can get some of your thoughts.
Well, first of all, I like to say it's not only the people of Brazil, but actually all lovers of the beautiful game are in mourning. Pelé was the first, what you might call megastar. He transcended nationalities. I learned about Pelé in 1958 after the World Cup, and what really caught my attention was 17 years old, featured in the World Cup. So I could identify with the man. And any kid who played street ball as I was growing up in Africa, kind of identified with Pelé because he just looked like us, and to be able to do what he did, go to the World Cup and, perform as he did, including the hat-trick in the semifinals, that's a different talent.
Yes,
Okay.
and this was at age 17, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, 17.
Okay. So some of the audience may not know, but you're definitely a historian. So even if you could take us back even before he was introduced to the world at the '58 World Cup, how did he get his start in Brazil?
Well, the pity about the history of the legend is that, Pelé played his last game, in 1977, October 1st, 1977. So most people never had the privilege of seeing Pelé play. And in his early years in Brazil, it's not like today that you can go to the Zone or ESPN or Amazon and watch all the games. Mm-hmm. So most of the young people today don't know much about Pelé. But Pelé actually was born in Três, Korea, in Brazil, and his father, Donaldinho, was a soccer player, and his mother, Celeste, really didn't want Pelé playing football because his father, although played football, they weren't rich. They were struggling to make ends meet, right? But Pelé's natural talent in his early teens, 12, 13, 14, came out. And his first coach, who used to play for Santos, saw something in the young man, and as a scout for Santos, introduced Pelé to his old club, Santos. So when Pelé went for a tryout, at Santos, they were basically impressed, and they signed him as a 15-year-old, and he set the Brazilian league on light. He made his first team appearance age 16,
And this is as a professional, not on a junior.
Professional, yes.
Okay.
Santos at the time was a struggling club, and they gave Pelé the opportunity to play professional football, another a way of helping his family. He has struggled. As a 7-year-old, Pelé was a shoe shine boy. He shined shoes to supplement the family's income. The father was struggling, as a football player. And one thing people don't realize, not very many people made a living in football at the time, So for Donaldinho, Pelé's dad, it was a struggle for the family. The mother was cleaning people's homes to make a living too for the family. So it was a struggle, and playing football was a way out of the slums of Brazil,
So when the legend of Pelé was born with with Santos in the Brazilian league? Was he playing a midfielder role, a striker? Was he a forward right from the get-go?
Pelé, you know, when you're young, the best footballers play more than one position. And Pelé was no exception. But you know, as Rivellino said, before Pelé, 10 was a number. After Pelé, the number 10 became, I don't know, it had special meaning. Anybody wearing the number 10 is seen as inheriting the mantle of the great Pelé, you know. And one thing that was also very clear about Pelé from the early years was he made football more than sport. He turned it into an art at a very young